when your water bill is just as much as your car payment, when your electric bills and other bills are just as much as your mortgage payments, you know the American dream is collapsing. In the next few minutes, I'll show you why homeowners are at a breaking point and what's coming next. Crushing bills that are turning utilities into mortgage payments. Families are being forced to skip payments because they just don't have money in their accounts anymore. Homeownership itself is starting to feel like a burden, like a hardship, like a financial stress today. The hidden warning signs no one is talking about. And finally, I'm going to talk about what you can do to protect yourself before it's too late. Tough times are not coming. They are already here. Hi, I'm Mike Patel in Southern California with First Team Real Estate. I've been doing real estate for 25 years, and my recent last couple of years of conversations with the buyers and specifically sellers are not very pretty. They are in trouble, they are stressed, and they are wondering what is going on. And they are complaining that I've owned my house for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and they just can't afford to keep up with any of the bills, including their mortgage bills, utility bills, medical bills, groceries, you name it, they just cannot afford it. What situation are you in? So let's talk about the utility bills. Has your bill gone up? Mine certainly has. Not only has it gone up, it has skyrocketed. My water bill has doubled, my insurance has doubled, my electric bill has doubled, and everything is going up. And I'm not just feeling this in Southern California. In other states, they have doubled or quadrupled. So that is putting a dent into their payments and into their savings accounts. How about insurance bills? And I'm talking about your mortgage insurance and car insurance. Everybody that I talk to, whether they are buyers or sellers or friends or family, when we go to a wedding or when we go to an event, they're talking about insurance bills. They have skyrocketed. Mine has gone up 30% in the last 2 years. And I just heard that State Farm will be increasing insurance statewide by 22% because the State of California Insurance Commissioner has approved it. So here comes more premium increases, and I'm sure Allstate and AAA and other insurance companies are also increasing more in 2026. Not that they have not done so in the last 2 or 3 years. So fasten your seatbelts. Let's talk about property tax. I am lucky in California, and Californians are lucky that our property taxes are 1.2% or 1.1%. So they are very stable. But when you talk about Texas and Montana and Florida and Arizona and a lot of other states, some of those counties and cities, their property taxes has doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I was talking to a realtor back in Florida, and their insurance has quadrupled. She is a retired owner, 70 years old, on a fixed income. What happened was when the hurricane came, so she had a lot of repair bills which she could not afford and used her credit cards and maxed it out. Then came the drastic increases in homeowners association, which for her doubled. Then came the insurance bill, which quadrupled. And she said, look, I've been here for 25 years in this condo complex, and she's never been late in her life, and now she's 6 months behind. She can't pay the HOA, she cannot pay the insurance, and she cannot pay her property tax bills because they've all skyrocketed, and she's on a fixed income. And she is not alone in Florida. There's a lot of people all over the USA behind, not only on property taxes and insurance, but behind on every other bills. There's a new app that just coming out. You know how we buy a car, we pay a mortgage. You buy a house, you pay mortgage. Guess what? Now this app is eat first, pay later. So you order food, they deliver, and then you pay them when you can. It's just like a credit card for food bill. Can you believe that we are in this situation right now? And there are technology companies, app companies developing these apps, and poor consumers, they are using it, especially the millennials and Gen Zs. A lot of them don't have any jobs. AI is taking over a lot of their jobs. All the high-tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Apple, they're laying off. Walmart is laying off. How many Starbucks are closing? I just read a report that 500 Starbucks nationwide are closing. A lot of them are closing. A lot of the Gen Zs and millennials and even boomers cannot find jobs anymore or good paying jobs. So when apps like these come out, eat now, pay later, they do well. And that app is doing really well. That tells you what state we are in the USA today. Our American dream is not broken. I think it's shattered. One thing I want to add to this dilemma about getting behind on mortgage payments and other bills is what's happening to your medical bills. Because I read a lot of reports, I talk to a lot of vloggers and bloggers and talk to realtors, other realtors, and I'm talking to people all day long. Guess what is happening with our medical bills? Of course, my medical insurance is sky high. I hardly use it, but it goes up every year. Me and my wife's insurance keeps going up and up and up. But what I'm hearing, next year in 2026, your deductibles are going to get higher and your premiums are going to skyrocket. I'll leave the medical insurance and medical premiums right there. You know what's happening to them. They're not going down for sure. The other disturbing thing that's happening is, let's talk about the credit card bills. Of course, people are behind on mortgage payments, they are behind on utility bills. But one of the things that is skyrocketing and very disturbing is the credit cards debt. In the last 30 or 40 year history, credit cards debt is at its maximum. A lot of the Gen Zs, millennials, even adults like myself have maxed out their credit cards. They cannot pay those anymore. And guess how much interest they're paying on these credit cards? Especially when they're behind on payments, so their FICO score, a credit score, is ruined. So I've known of some people paying 25, 30, 35% monthly credit card rates. So one, you have a problem paying your bills, then you're behind on your mortgage, so you have to pay penalty. Then when it comes to credit cards, you are paying 20% interest rate, then you're paying extra percentage on penalties. So things are not getting better, they're going down fast. And I mean really fast. So what's happening is, because people cannot afford, because people cannot pay bills, they don't have any money to pay. I'll give you a quick example of what's happening, and you can think about what's happening in other areas. A lot of the handymen today don't have any jobs. I was talking to a handyman. He said, Mike, I've used him all the time. And he said, guess what I'm doing these days? I have nothing to do. Nobody's calling us. People are doing their work themselves to save money, to save labor cost, because labor cost, especially in Southern California, is very expensive. So what the people are doing is they're fixing it themselves. So me as a handyman, I have no jobs. I haven't had a job in 2 weeks. And furthermore, I'm picking up the phone and making cold calls to realtors and older people, older homes, to see if they have jobs. I've never done that in my life. As realtors, we cold call all the time. But I tell you what's happening in the last 3 or 4 months. I'm getting cold calls from painters, termite companies, lenders, handyman, you name it. They're cold calling me or other realtors because they want jobs. They never had to cold call. That means they never have to go looking for jobs, and now they're dying. They're doing whatever they can to get jobs. This is a complete turnaround from what was happening in 2021, 2022. Business was good, money was coming in, everything was just flowing. But now you see there's a big dilemma going on. So let's talk about the house rich and cash poor scenario. A lot of us who bought our homes 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I've had my house over 25 years. So we have a lot of equity, a lot of equity. But Americans are equity rich and cash poor. What that means is, if anybody bought a house for $250,000 in Southern California, for example, their house is worth $1 million today. So the Americans have a lot of equity, but they don't have any money to spend because it's stuck in the house, and the home equity has no value until you sell. So the riches in the housing is there, but it's not usable until you sell it. And a lot of the sellers are not selling because they cannot find another house, or they're not letting go of the 2 or 3% interest rate. So they're stuck with their cash equity in the house. At the same time, they cannot afford to pay the bills. In fact, they are losing their homes, or they're behind on their mortgage payments. So to make things worse, here's what's coming in 2026. There are more property tax increases coming, depending on the state and county you're in. There are more increases coming in insurance, not only on your car payments and on your mortgage insurance, but also on your medical premiums. So we are not out of the woods yet. And the other thing we have to talk about and consider is what's happening to inflation. Inflation is still not under control. The Trump administration is working hard and trying hard to control inflation, but you cannot just control inflation like that. It takes time. Trump administration wants to drop the interest rate so inflation is controlled, but that's not how it works. And it doesn't take a week, 2 weeks to control these things. It may take 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years. In the meantime, Americans are losing their homes, losing their cars, losing their relationship, losing their cash savings. They're losing everything. So by the time all these things are controlled, the inflation, the employment, the interest rate, it just may be too late. There are reports out there that we're going into a recession. We're going into a recession. If you ask my opinion, based on talking to all the buyers and sellers and all these affiliates, we have been in a recession for over a year now. People are broke. People are scared. People are worried. The only people that I know are laughing all the way to the bank are the rich people. The rich are getting richer. Oh, I'm sorry. The rich are getting filthy rich, and the regular guys are getting worse and worse. Look at the stock market. Unemployment is down, inflation is high, but look what's happening to the stock market. Look at the income the corporate people are making. They're making a lot of money, tons of money. But the average consumer, average Joe, is losing money, is losing their relationships, is stressed out financially, is emotionally stressed. But the rich are getting richer and they're laughing at us all day long. One of the things I really want to mention is what is the impact of AI going to have on jobs. So let's see what happens. AI, artificial intelligence, is definitely going to have an impact on jobs. It is already having it, but let's see what is going to happen in the next 1 or 2 years. So here's a question. If things are great, why can't half of America pay their bills on time today? A big question to consider. So on that note, which bill are you behind on? Are you behind on mortgage? Are you behind on credit card bills? Are you behind on car insurance or utilities? Please let us know. Please share what your thoughts are or what's happening in your neighborhood so we can learn from it. And if you share from it, we can maybe help each other in the comment. So please comment below. You are not alone. Thousands of homeowners are in the same fight, and the comment section is where we see the truth. If you feel that you've got some information from this video, I highly recommend that you watch this video. Americans are being forced to sell their homes. It connects the dots on why the collapse of everyday life is hitting the housing market harder than ever. The collapse of the Americans, the collapse of everyday life in America isn't coming. It's already here. Utility bills that feel like second mortgages, insurance premiums rising 30 to 40%, and homeowners lying awake at night wondering how long they can hang on. This system is not built for you to win. And if you don't act now, it could take everything you worked for all your life.